Hi, hello guys. Welcome to MedBody. Today we are going to discuss an interesting topic called vertebral column. Before starting it, let us have a look on the basics skeleton of human body. The skeleton of human body, it consists of axial skeleton of the body and appendicular skeleton of the body. The axial skeleton of the body consists of skull and skeleton of the trunk, while the appendicular skeleton consists of skeleton of upper limb and skeleton of lower limb. You know, our topic is vertebral column. It is one of the classification of skeleton of the trunk, and also it consists of 12 pairs of ribs and sternum. So without wasting any time, let's get started to vertebral column. So there are 5 types of vertebrae: cervical vertebrae, which is 7 in number; thoracic vertebrae, 12 in number; lumbar vertebrae, it is 5 in number; sacral vertebrae, 5 in number; coccygeal vertebrae, it is from 1 to 5. So before going to specifically to each vertebra, let's have a look on the common features of the vertebra. Each vertebrae has the following parts: body, arc, spinous process, transverse process, and the superior and inferior articular process. So you can see this is the body of the vertebra, which is responsible for the support. And you can see if you are going from cervical region to the lumbar, the size of the body is increasing. You see here. So it's increasing, and if you the vertebrae have the region, the pedicle and the arc. The arc, it is attached to the posterior surface of the body by 2 peduncles. I repeat, the body, the pedicles and the arc. So the posterior part of the body, the pedicle and the arc combine together to form the vertebral foramen, by which through the vertebral foramen the spinal cord passes. So guys, you can see in the vertebra there is so many processes is present. Laterally there is transverse process is present, and it is paired one. So you can see here this is transverse process, and from the arc of the vertebra posteriorly a process is present. It is spinous process, you see. And also you can see here these are the superior articular forces, and like that inferiorly also we can see it is the inferior articular processes. So I repeat, it having laterally transverse processes, it is paired, and from the arc of the vertebra posteriorly spinous process, you see, spinous process, and we have inferior articular process and also superior articular process. So guys, you can see if I am joining one vertebrae over another one, you can see here the inferior articular process of the first vertebrae here joining with the superior articular process of the second vertebrae. So it provides a good attachment. So guys, these are the cervical vertebrae, which are 7 in number. So let's take a cervical vertebrae. Okay, let's take C5. Like other vertebrae, which is having the spinous process, body of the vertebrae, and also transverse process, and superior articular facet, inferior articular facet. So what make it is different from the other vertebrae? So if you are looking at the transverse process, you can see a transverse foramen is present. The foramen, which is called transverse foramen. So it is the striking unique feature of the cervical vertebrae, the transverse foramen, you see. And also if you are looking at the body, each side of the body you can see the angular process. See the angular process. So the angular vertebral joint, which is joins the corresponding body. And also if you are looking at the spinous process, it's quite small and facing downward, and also it's bifurcated, you see, it's bifurcated. And if you are looking at the vertebral foramen, it's triangular in shape, you see. So these are the unique feature of the vertebra, cervical vertebra. And in addition to that, the C1, the C2 and the C7 having some specific features. Because of that, the cervical vertebra from C3 to C6 called typical vertebra. So let's have a look on the first vertebra, or first cervical vertebra, or atlas. So you see it's also having a transverse foramen. But if you are comparing the transverse foramen of the typical vertebra, it's quite bigger, you see, it's bigger. It's small, it's big. And the atlas is devoid of spinous process, body. And if you are looking at the shape, it is spring shaped. If it is doesn't having a spinous process, you see. So because of that, it's difficult to find the surfaces like anterior, posterior and superior, inferior surfaces. In order to find the anterior surfaces, you can see the anterior arc is shorter while the posterior arc is longer and core-like shape. And the superior articular facet is elliptical in shape, you see, elliptical in shape. And the inferior articular facet is smaller and circular, flat and circular. And repeating, the transverse foramen and anterior shortened arc, a long posterior arc, and superior articular facet is ellipsoid, and the inferior articular facet is circular and flat. And also you can see the fovea dentis. I will tell you what is the function of the fovea dentis while telling axis. So let's have a look on the C2, cervical second vertebra or axis. It's easy to find the cervical second vertebra because you can see the odontoid process or the dens. You can see what is the function of the odontoid process. If you are placing the first atlas over the second, you can see it's joining perfectly here. So in order to change the direction of your neck or to change the position of your head, it will help to rotate the C1 atlas over the C2. You see, so this is the dens, and here it's a notch-like thing. It's present is the fovea dentis. Okay. So also it's having a transverse foramen here, and spinous process bifurcated, and also a vertebral foramen. And the superior articular facet is quite big and circular in shape. It's overhanging on both sides of the dens. Okay, I hope you understand. It's having dens and the overhanging superior articular face, circular in shape, also transverse foramen, and the spinous process bifurcated. Okay, so let's look on the C7. C7 is like a typical vertebra you see while you're seeing first, or it's also having a body, transverse foramen, angular processes, and a triangular vertebral foramen. But if you are looking at the spinous process, it's quite larger, means long, it's quite long. So it is the ranking features of the C7. It's the larger, it's having a long spinous process. At the end, it's having a tubercle, and it's also horizontal. So what is the main features of the C7? It's having a long spinous process. At the end, it's having a tubercle. Also angular process is present, and the transverse foramen is present, and superior and inferior articular facet is also present. So guys, I hope you understand. Please subscribe us. But in today's videos, I only said about the cervical vertebrae. In next video, I'm gonna talk about the thoracic, lumbar, sacral and coccygeal vertebrae. So I hope you understand. Thank you.